Okay, we are live. Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome to today's SAP LeanIX Exploration Workshop. We are very happy to have you with us today, and to kick things right off, I'll start with a few housekeeping rules. For those who are not familiar with BrightTalk, today's webinar is going to be recorded, and the recording will be available on demand afterwards. And if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to submit them via the chat, which you will find below the webinar window. We will collect your questions and address them during the Q&A session in the end. And we will also share a QR code with you for feedback and input. We would really appreciate it, as it helps us continuously improve and better address your specific challenges. And yeah, now I'm very pleased to introduce our SAP solution advisors, today's experts, Abderrahman and Oliver Severa. And with that, I'll hand over to you, Oliver. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Natiga. So again, hi everyone. My name is Oliver Severa. I'm a senior solution advisor for SAP LeanIX, and today I'll be guiding you through some of the basics of LeanIX, and hopefully we have some fun together. So housekeeping rules, again, just to double check with you, you will receive all of these slides at the end of the presentation of the event. And if you have any questions, we will answer them at the end of each presentation. And there will also be a code for to provide some feedback. If you kindly would like to do it, we'll be very grateful. This is our agenda for my session. We will go through a general idea of what SAP Business Transformation Management is and where LeanIX fits into this story. What is enterprise architecture in general? We will then go through an introduction of LeanIX as a platform, and then to the meta model. We will go then to the demo and the Q&A session. So what is business transformation management? It is a division within SAP, but is also a vision to transform the business. What SAP thinks is that the transformation is done in several ways and using several tools. So what you see right now are three main solutions: SAP Signavio, which manages processes; WalkMe, which manages the people and the adoption part; and LeanIX, which manages application and enterprise architecture. Today, obviously, we're going to talk about SAP LeanIX. What you see is a loop which applies to all of these solutions. That's because we think that each of these solutions and business transformation management in general is not should not be treated as a project that starts and ends, but should be treated as something that is continuously running, because only using an approach that implies continuous innovation allows you to unlock the full potential of the solutions, but most importantly, the transformations and the efficiencies that you're looking for. So that's what SAP is building right now, and this is the result of a work that started in 2021 with the acquisition of SAP Signavio, and is continuing through with the acquisition of LeanIX and WalkMe. So now narrowing the scope to the enterprise architecture, why it's so important, why we need enterprise architecture. There are four main components, four key components that you will see also as a topic in LeanIX, which are the technology architecture, which probably most of enterprise architects are familiar with, or sysadmins. Then we have business architecture, application architecture, and data architecture. This is something that then is able to draw the picture of the full enterprise architecture as a whole. But why are we using these components to map or do actions with this, mainly because we are looking for some benefits adopting the enterprise architecture. So it could be managing and risking the complexity. It could be reducing cost, or maybe just establishing vision of the IT and the landscape and what is going on. So in general, this kind of architecture and components help you manage the investments that are done in the enterprise as well, not only technology wide. They could be impacting many other scenarios. That's why we have a lot of complexity that needs to be managed in a way or another. So what I mean by that? What I mean is that in every organization, we have many stakeholders, and you can see here there is like a skyscraper, and we have the engine room, the architect elevator, and the penthouse. So what we mean by that? We mean that enterprise architecture first, and then LeanIX, they act as a link between these two layers. They could be meant as translations or links. It's really up to you. But the goal is to make them speak the same language, because often it doesn't happen. You can see there is a lot of architecture pieces. We have the processes, we have the integration, we have the business capabilities, and so on. And then further going down, we have all the technical aspects of this scenario. So by addressing some of the use cases, LeanIX helps organization make smarter decisions, but also plan them. It's very important. And yes, that's where the discussion is going. Now, speaking about LeanIX, so I was mentioning benefits a little bit ago, but we also may have challenges. So our our solution empowers organizations such as yours to get through some of the challenges. And the challenges that we see most of the time are high IT complexity, long implementation cycles, and unforeseen tasks, for example, during a migration, during a project, or during implementation. Also, you will see others, but I won't list all of them. So that's where LeanIX comes into play. It comes to provide some value into managing all of this world of the enterprise architecture, but also trying to make all of the actors and stakeholders talk the same language, as we were saying a little bit ago. So yes, the main goals are to increase speed, save cost, and reduce risks. A couple of things that I will show you later that I'm going to anticipate now is that this platform is built on collaboration. And because of this, we actually welcome everybody to use the platform, and the licensing is not based on the users. So collaboration is very important. And then we have lots of reports that are predefined and ready to use, and a special meta model that we'll see in a little bit as well. So LeanIX gives you mainly three things: the visibility on what you have, which is called the application portfolio management, the ability to manage the risk, control it, and plan it, which is called technology risk and compliance, and then the ability to plan transformation or any change within your organization, and it's called architecture and roadmap planning. Actually, with my colleague Abdu in the other session, you will see one of these use cases. In general, you can use LeanIX for many use cases, and this shows how the platform is flexible in this regard. You don't only have to use it for one, but you have many that may be available at your disposal. So that's very good from this side as well. So what do you do actually with LeanIX? Generally, you have the three steps in the adoption and the usage of LeanIX, which are the discover phases, the enrichment, and then the assessment. The discover is where you gather the data, and later in the demo, I will show you how it is done. But mainly, you consolidate all the data that is maybe gathered from different sources, and you also link it with the rest of the information inside of the company that may be business related or technical related. Once this is done, you go to the enrichment step. The enrichment step is to find out what additional information is required by your stakeholders or to actually get done what you have planned. This can be done in different ways. I was mentioning a little bit ago the collaboration part, and here we have like surveys that can be used as well. I will show them later as well. But surveys are a great way to gather quickly data from the application owners or the business owners, for example. So once the data are enriched and are ready to be used, we can move to the assessment part. So we can visualize the dependencies, we can assess the risk, we can optimize the transformation that we're planning. And in general, this can be done by consuming reports or also by drawing diagrams, which is also another feature that is built into LeanIX. And then we come to the meta model. This is very important and to LeanIX because it's one of the other main key differentiators. The meta model is ready to use, and it's a data platform that allows you to create information that is linked to the other. So the data is structured in 12 blocks by default, which we call fact sheets. And fact sheets are based on our experience. We have like 10 plus years of experience and customer feedback, and we are continuously expanding the model and improving it to listen to what customers have to say to us. The model is structured in a way that you have the strategy and the business at the top, and then slowly when you go down, you get the typical aspects of the enterprise architecture and the technical architecture. This model is built new. It took inspiration from TOGAF and other common frameworks, but the difference between the frameworks and this one is that this one has been used on the field, and it allows for adaptation, but it's not required. So you can start with the model that we provide and then slowly adapt it and change it to the tasks that arise, the requirements that arise in the future. As I was mentioning, all of these fact sheets are related to each other. They have meaningful relationship, and these are built in, and also these can be customized, removed, and added. The beauty of using this model as is the fact that you can leverage many of the resources that are built into LeanIX. And on this slide, you have some examples. You can visualize goals and roadmaps to see what's coming and what's planned, and then what is planned is on time. You can use a lot of business capability and application heat maps, which are reports that can be customized easily and also show a lot of the relationship in action. The data flows are a kind of diagram. Also, the diagrams can be drawn using the relations, or can be expanded, let me say, using the relations. And also you can do the technology part, which is other roadmaps, but related on the technology and the risk, as I was mentioning. So in general, concluding on the meta model, it's a very powerful way of storing the data, and it's not just a database, it's actually a way to make the data alive and connected with the rest of the enterprise architecture world. Okay, now I will switch to the demo and I will show you some of these in action. There we go. So this is LeanIX. Just refreshing to make sure it's alive, the session is alive. So LeanIX is a web application tool. It's SaaS-based, and it's based on different sections. You can see the sections above. We are starting with the dashboards, but we're moving and coming back later. That's only because it's the default page. Then we have the inventory, reports, diagrams, and so on. I will give you a brief overview of how the platform is displayed and how it can be used. And hopefully you will have a better understanding of what the meta model and LeanIX can help you achieve. So let's start with the inventory. This is where all of your data is. You can see on the left in the type section, you have a filter with all the models that I was showing a minute ago about the meta model. And there's also a lot of other filters that can be applied. They can also be done using AI. So I can type in a natural language what I'm looking for, and the AI would create the filter for me. As an enterprise architect, I may not be aware of all the data that is contained in this database. So we have many ways to help you understand what you are looking for. But before looking at a specific example, I want to take a moment to show you how the data can be ingested in the platform. We have so many different ways of doing it. And here in the inventory tools, we can have like a preview of what it's capable. The classic and de facto way of importing data is using Excel. Like most of organizations that don't have enterprise architecture tools keep this information in Excel, but is also very good to manipulate the data. So this is the de facto standard. We have templates that are easy to edit, so you can quickly manipulate your current data in your current Excel sheets and import it using our templates. But obviously, this is not the only option that you need to use to import this data. We have different ways to help you, and actually some of these are much smarter. For example, we have the SAP Discovery integration. We integrate with the SAP Calm software to import some of your SAP solutions. We also have the SaaS Discovery, which is the integration with common identity providers. So you could import cloud applications from Microsoft Entra and the Okta ID solutions. And also we have the integration with CMDB tools like Jira Service and ServiceNow. These tools often within organizations have lots of data, and those can be imported and evaluated as well. We also have other integrations, but I won't be mentioning all of them. And I will finish the integration and the building of the inventory with the inventory builder. This is an AI solution that allows you to import any diagram, picture, document that was done somewhere else for other scopes. And also you can import diagrams that are built using enterprise architecture languages that are different from the LeanIX. So this is a really good tool to pack a lot of data that you have right now, a lot of knowledge that you have right now, and translate it into the LeanIX world. This will allow you like a quick start, and actually most of our customers start and getting benefits of LeanIX within just weeks of the initial implementation. So proceeding with our demo, we are tasked in this scenario to have a look at a specific application. So I will click on applications here, and I will be filtering. Now I will see the inventory filtered by applications. In the specific, I have to look for an application that is called AC Management, but I really don't know what this application does. So to get an understanding of what it is, I can click on the application like I've just done and see the data that is contained in LeanIX. This can be called in different ways. This is a fact sheet, by the way, just to give you an understanding of a linkage with a term I was using a little bit ago. This can be considered like the history, but also the identity of the object that you're looking right now. And this will be different based on the type of object that you're seeing. Right now, I'm showing a business application because it's a very easy example, but you could be looking at the process, business capability, or something else. But what matters is the information that's being entered here. For example, here I can expand the description, and I can understand now that this application is used for access control within an organization and is used by 15 people. The information that we see right here is very flexible because I can collapse it, I can expand it, I can see what is filled and what is not filled, and this is entirely customizable. So you can choose which data is mandatory, which data should be hidden, and also you can obviously add fields, add data, and so on. So what you see right now is like what the enterprise wants to get and see. You don't have to live with like mandatory fields that you don't want to have. So let's explore a little bit about this organization. Let's get some of this application. Let's get some understanding of what it does. For example, the first thing I see is a life cycle. So I can enter this information and see it in a timeline. And I can see that this application is not active anymore, is in the phase out phase. And it's approaching its end of life. So this means that this application will eventually have a replacement, hopefully, or the replacement is already there and the application is just there for redundancy purposes. And if I scroll a little bit down, I can see that indeed there is a successor. The successor is called the V2 Cloud edition of this application. And if I click here, I can quickly see like a preview of what this new application is. And if I click on the name, I will see the full description like the one I'm seeing right now, but we will stay here for the moment. The beauty of using the meta model, as I was mentioning before when I was showing you the slide, are the relationships, and these are the relationships in action. So I can see how AC management is linked to the rest of the organization. For example, I can see there is an initiative linked to AC management, which is a technical initiative about upgrading the technical components of SQL servers, and probably this is like an organization-wide initiative that is also involving AC management components. I can see that AC management is used in two business contexts, which in our world are the business processes. So I can see that here are the business processes. And like I did before, if I hover, I can see some of the preview data. And then if I click on the title in a new browser tab, I will see the whole data that is available for that specific fact sheet. I can see also which organizations inside my company are using this application. And many other data like the IT components. So I can also go in the technical part and see which technical components are are letting this application running. And ideally, this data, for example, would be sourced from CMDBs as well. I can also, like in many parts of this of the graph, I can export this view in PDF or PNG, so it allows for quick visualization also outside of the platform. I could spend hours showing the data that is contained in an example application, but I will stop because we have many other things that are interesting. For example, I was mentioning the collaboration part that is very important. So how is this collaboration in action? It is done through roles. So in the section that is called subscriptions, you can see there are different people that are subscribed to this application. What it means in reality is that we have different people inside of the organization that are responsible in a way or another for this application. For example, we have an application owner, a security officer, a business owner, and so on. You can customize the role based on your needs. What is relevant is that some of these people, the people that are responsible, are actually indeed responsible for the quality and the data that is here. So ideally, the enterprise architect would not enter all the information that is here, but it would source it from these people. Also, the people listed as responsible are can approve the actual data that is contained in the fact sheet. How it is done? It's done via this box that now is purple up here, check needed. We call it the quality seal. The quality seal tells other people if the information is updated and if it has been checked. It is approved, as I said, by the responsible people. So this allows to other people like an enterprise architect understand if they can use this data to make evaluations of things like this. There are also a lot of rules and settings that can be customized. For example, if you want, you can break the seal every a certain amount of months, or you can break the seal after a specific change, if you want, obviously. So you're always sure that the information that is contained is reliable. That's the most important thing. You can also add comments. The comments have a sense in this scenario because they don't impact the data that is contained in the fact sheet and has to go through the approval scenario. And you also have the surveys that I also mentioned as well. So the surveys allow you to quickly create questions and send them automatically to the application owners. So you can create some questions, for example, to get specific data that you're missing. That's the enrichment part that we'll go through deeper in a little bit. And this can be sent automatically to the application owners, to specific application owners, so they will be asked to insert this data for the applications that they are managing. And the very nice thing is that this can be done without entering LeanIX itself. It can be done through the survey that has been sent them by email, for example. And so these are some of the ways to do some collaboration. And hopefully this brings all the data into LeanIX in a reliable way and in a way that then can be later used and consumed. And actually, this is what I want to show you right now. So I will go back to the dashboard page, and I will show you a dashboard that has been created for this scenario. I'm saying created because dashboard can be customized, they can be changed, they can contain a lot of data. And as you can see right now, we are in a dashboard called application rationalization, which is one of the use cases the LeanIX has. And this dashboard is customizable because there are some boxes that you can change. Dashboards can contain images, links, reports, and I will show you through this information. I will show you an example of application rationalization that can be done. And so you can see some of the data in action finally. One thing to mention, this is a fictional example, but you can really use the dashboards for whatever need you have. So going to the scenario, we start understanding our strategy. So what does it mean? It means that we have some objectives, and the objectives have to be put somewhere. So what you will see here is a preview of a report, and you will see more of them in a second. And this report shows the company-wide objectives. For example, cost efficiency, IT objectives, make our technology personal, and so on. And what we see contained are the business capabilities that allow these objectives to come alive. So this is like the very first thing to do. So what we want to do and what capabilities are we going to use to do it. Then we go to the scoping part. So probably to do this, we have to make some changes in our enterprise architecture. So let's go in understanding what we have to do. For example, you can see two reports here. I will focus on the left one, scoping soon end of life applications. So now we are seeing another report. This report is focused on applications that may be going end of life soon. So what does it mean soon? Soon is customizable. Soon is, in this case, is 6 months, but it can be changed. So what you see right now is that financial accounting is active because it has the light blue color, but then just below it's yellow. So it means it will be phased out soon. So this is another easy way to visualize the data that we entered a little bit ago. But maybe the data that we have right now, because we've just started, it's not good enough. We're missing data, or maybe it's a new evaluation. So we need the enrichment part. And the enrichment part is done through the surveys, or for example, using the surveys, or using the comments, or simply gathering the data into LeanIX. Once we have enriched the data, we can also make other assumptions. For example, this report is still showing applications. For example, you can see Microsoft 365, everybody knows it. But now the color is different. It's showing how critical the application is. We can do this because we have assessed this data. And also we have stars in here because we have other metrics that we have assessed, like functional fit and technical fit. These are two metrics that are out of the box available in LeanIX, and they use the star metrics, and we have so many other metrics that use ratings, numbers, and so on. So they are very flexible, but most importantly, easily added. They can be added easily into the platform. I can also make other assessments. For example, again, using the business criticality map, as I was seeing in the previous report, I can see using a radar, I can see which applications are unreasonable for the technical fit, but are also mission critical. So, for example, I have 8 in this case. So yes, these reports are very good to evaluate what needs to be done. Another kind of evaluation can be done through the time assessment, which is tolerate, invest, migrate, and eliminate. I'm quickly glancing over that. Here we go. So we can understand using the time assessment what needs to be done for applications. This is another kind of report. So you can see the data can be shuffled around, seen and displayed in different ways. For example, we have here the organizations. So we have Americas, APAC, EMEA, and H2 Fuel. And the business capabilities on the other side. And we can see that some applications are red because they've been tagged as to be eliminated, which doesn't mean they have been eliminated already. This is just an assessment and a plan of what we want to do. A very quick example that can be used to show the time value is the cost analysis. So based on the fact that we have tagged some applications as eliminate, we can estimate the cost saving. So for example, with my data, I can estimate 500K of applications saved if I would eliminate all the applications that I've tagged. So, and also I can run another report focusing just on the eliminate applications and their cost, because in LeanIX you can also add the cost if you want. Once we have all of these not planned, but ready to go, we can plan it. So we can create a roadmap, because this is another kind of report that can be done in LeanIX, creating some initiatives, creating the waves, and so on. So we can map what we want to do, what we want to eliminate, what we want to transform, and so on. So this is another great way to plan what needs to be done with the data that we have assessed and first we have ingested into the platform. And also we can start initiatives and we can monitor the initiatives with more detail. We can look at the wave level. We can do many things. And this is the beauty of LeanIX, because with the data that you import, you can do basically whatever you want. So I will finish my presentation. With any Q&A that we may have in the panel. Let me double check if we have any questions right now.
Yeah,
there were questions, but they were answered. So I think we are good, right? Abdul, did you want to add anything?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, just like to repeat at least our answer on the most, interesting questions. First thing, yes, the recordings will be accessible via BrightTalk website. So later on, you can just have access to it. I had also two interesting questions, one about Archimate and TOGAF. As you mentioned, Oliver, our meta model based on TOGAF as framework, but also we are agnostic. It can be adapted to any framework like Zachman, Dodav, Nora, for example, in KSA or other framework, since we offer a very flexible meta model. By the way, it was the other questions. So you can add whatever you want, but please keep in mind that you are dealing with, a lean way of, your AI practice. So for example, when we talk about Archimate, we talk about 60 objects plus 11 or 13 relationship, depends how we calculate them. But we offer you just 12 objects, including, of course, the sub-objects and everything. But for example, if you say that, yes, you need an object to capture your risk, yes, of course, it can be, the right way to do it. But please avoid to create object just for creating object or trying to duplicate what you have with Archimade's modeling language. I hope it's clear. I think we have also another question. You can take it or I can take it, Oliver.
I only see three. I think the questions I see, you answered all of those. I just wanted to add on.
We have another question. Can we create diagram templates? But
okay. Oh yeah, they're coming. They're coming. Yeah. I just wanted to finish the security and governance layers. We do offer some of those. For example, we have the GDPR extension layer, which will add some of the fields that are specific to this scenario. So this is very possible. And we have customers that wanted to map like any NIS2 for European Union as well. It's another common thing. But as Abdu said, please plan it, because when you extend it too much, then it becomes hard. And LeanIX tries to solve it, providing the meta model in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yes, please.
I can take the questions. For example, can technology diagrams include cloud icons? Yes, diagrams do include cloud icons from the beginning. Our diagram engine is based on Draw.io, which is very common in the enterprise architecture space. And we have like thousands, probably hundreds of or thousands of icons also from vendors, and you can also upload yours. So this is definitely built into the tool. Then we have quite detailed solution architecture designs. Can this be accomplished in LeanIX? Abdu, would you like to take this? Because I'm not sure what means by designs.
Yes, of course. And as enterprise architects, of course, we need to include also our colleagues or other, let's say, stakeholders like solution architects, data architects, application architects, and so on and so forth. And for the solution architect, yes, you can still use our diagramming features to build your solution architect. You can also use another way of, building your solution. Let's say, I will call it delivery, because it can be diagrams, can be anything else, using our data-driven, like using our initiative. We will say, okay, look, I'm going to change, for example, the architecture of my application. I have like a monolithic architecture. I need to switch to a microservices architecture. I would like to see what's going to be the impact, or at least I would like to design based on a diagram, the new architecture, including all the aspects. Like I can have the 3 or 4 layers of the modeling, like the logical, physical, and conceptual. Or I can go also to the contextual layer. So I can use my diagrams. Once I'm okay with this diagram, of course, so then I can link it to a real object, what we call, because in Linux, we have 2 types of, let's say, object content. We have what we call a repository object through our meta model that Oliver showed you, and we have the modeling objects. For example, if you want to build your infrastructure architecture using our cloud icons, by the way, we have, as Oliver mentioned, we have Azure icons, we have AWS icons, we have GCP icons, and so on and so forth. And inside this diagram, of course, you can have all your solution architecture contents. It's clear. So I think we still have some questions. Unfortunately, we cannot cover all of them. Yes, the first one, can we create diagram template? Yes, we can create a diagram template, but here we have 2 ways. A diagram template, all right, which can be generated automatically based on a content, all right, and then I can just define, let's say, the layouts and the layers that I want to show through this diagram first. And also I can create a diagram template, like a design diagram, which I can put it in my Scratchpad, I think, in I call it Draw.io, but in our diagramming features, which can be used, of course, as a template by the other colleagues. I'm not sure if you are aware about Linux. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware about that. The question is about the academic, let's say, offering. By the way, I still like delivering a lot of lectures, especially in France and in Netherlands. My last lectures was like, I think, last 2 weeks. All right, I had like a quite interesting people. Yes, regarding the academic, of course, let me share my screen. I think I can do that. Can you share in your screen? I will do it.
Yes.
On your behalf. All right. You know what? I'm sharing everything. Good. Can you see my screen? I guess yes.
Yes, we can.
So here, of course, you will have always this like SAP Linux learning, like an academy, content. Once you have access to your workspace, of course, you can, get access to all our like content. You can get certification. And again, what I'm doing with my students, for example, when I'm finishing like this the lecture, I'm just asking them to pass at least, for example, the level 1, just giving them like access to our workspace. And yeah, I hope that I address your questions. Just like to be sure that we are not missing any questions. Hi, when shall we start designing technical architecture? So here, when shall we start like the designing the technical architecture? I mean, like when we talk about the architecture, we have a different angle, to tackle the architecture. So we have like some clients or like some project that we need to have this top down, like architecture, like starting by the strategic, like business applications, and then, jumping into the technical. We have other contexts where we need like really to start with the technical layers. Depends really on the sponsor. So there is no one question which can fit to all, one answer which can fit to all questions. It really depends, and also depends on the quality of the data that you have. For example, if you have like a right and a good, let's say maybe like a golden source of this technical, data information, and you have a good team members, or right side, you have the right stuff, of course you can start with it. For example, you can have a clear vision on your, technical architecture. And on top of that, you can build, for example, which application is using which technology. Then you can go, you can have this bottom up, let's see, what we call navigation, and then say, okay, which process using which application, which business capabilities linked to which processes, which strategic goal. I cannot go more than that, but I think that you got me. Yeah. How easy to migrate data from AI to like business design tourism? I mean, most of the AI tools, they are like offering an Excel, export. So especially like tools like business design, of course, you can, import all the data that you have. I'm talking about the data, like through an Excel sheet that you have in your design. All right. And remember what we mentioned, our meta model is very flexible. So you can have this, one-to-one, let's say, mapping by adding a new object or like a new attribute or like a new relation, just to be able to retrieve everything that you have in your previous solution like this design. But please, what I will advise you, it's a good opportunity for you to say, okay, look, for example, I used to have like 30 objects, right? Like simple objects that we can have in our meta model. But after 1 year, I was using just like 50% of those objects. So logically, I will start just with what I'm using, really, all right? And based on that, maybe I can, evolve what I have, or I can, use the best practice, which is like offered by, SAP. Otherwise, technically speaking, I can retrieve whatever I want. So this is like the Excel sheet. Now regarding diagrams and everything, maybe we will not have time, but I will just show it to you very, very quickly. We have this like feature which like powered by the AI, which can, let's say, read, analyze, all the diagrams. If you export them as like an image, we are working on some ways to also get the data from a PDF documents or like PowerPoints or like even XML or JSON files. And yeah, so in the end of the day, we'll offer you all the help that will, allows you to retrieve all the data. Maybe the rest of the sessions can be just a Q&A. I still have like a lot of questions, but let's say here, my first time in this tool, how to create Archimate elements. I mean, the Archimate element, just like to make it very clear. So we have modeling languages, and we have frameworks. All right, frameworks, as we mentioned before, like TUGAF, like DUDAF, like Zachman, and so on and so forth. For the modeling language, we have something which is like, sponsored by the open group, which is like Archimate. Archimate, I mean, me too. I was like teaching Archimate, in the past. It's perfect, having like everything, but just for the experts. Now, if I want just to get used to Archimate, so here I hope that you can still see my screen. You can find all the objects. But if I want at least start with something that I already used. Of course, in the free draw, you have here, I will just go to this one, for example, you have the option to, of course, oops, I need to click on unlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the option, of course, to, create your Archimate, diagrams from here. So the last version, and here you can find all the modeling mutation. All right, so you can just start using them. But just for your information, in the market of the AI tools, we have two schools. All right, we have like diagramming first solutions, and we have data-driven solution like LeanIX. All right, in Linux we can do both, but mainly we are like just fostering the use of, let's say, the data first, like starting from the integration, starting from an Excel sheet, starting from real data, and the visualization, like what we do with the diagramming using Archimate modeling language. It can be for us generated automatically. Not everything, but at least, for example, building a diagram using Archimate just to show the integration architecture between my application. This is what we want to do, but we can do it like automatically. Why should I create like a diagram using Archimate? I'm not saying that those who are like familiar to Archimate is bad. No, I'm just saying that with our way, it's very easy to involve more people to democratize the practice of, the AI architecture by offering something which can be used and useful to everyone. Maybe, yeah, I still have time. Free access. Yes, for ICP partner, yes, you can have a free access, but I will, like we we were Linux, now we are like ACP. I think you need just to check with your partner manager. But normally, yes, you can have a free access, and also you can get our contacts, Oliver and myself, and we can be more than happy to support you, during your Linux journey. I guess that we are okay. I hope that I didn't miss anything. And then I will jump into my part. All right.
Thank
Good.
you, Abdul. The stage is yours.
Thank you. All right. So let's stack. I have that you can see my screen. And let's start from the beginning. I will try to be very quick. All right. But first thing, like just to introduce myself, I'm Abdurrahman Mujahid. Yeah, most of my colleagues, they call me Abdu because Abdurrahman is a little bit, hard for them to pronounce. But if you, can say Abdurrahman, it can be also good. Yeah, I'm a principal solution engineer advisor. I have been, playing the role of the enterprise architect for more than 10 years. I covered like a huge region from the North of America, like EMEA, and now I'm focusing a lot on the Middle East region and also the APAC sometimes. I have been working with Linux almost 5 years. Like on June, I will be celebrating my work anniversary. Yeah, I think this is what I can say about myself. And again, please, if you have any question, just drop them, and I will be more than happy to to address them. I see one question, but I'm not going to read all the question. Do you have trial version like Signavio? I mean, No, it's not public. I'm talking about the trial version for LeanIX. You can reach out to us, and we can have a POC like for 1 month or like even 2. It depends on your need. We will offer you also some workshops, and during this or those workshops will guide you. And of course, it's for free. All right, now let's start with what I want like to show you. So what you see here, just like a quick agenda, I still have 35 minutes. I'll do my best to don't spend lots of time in the, in the slide, and I will jump directly into the solution. So here my part is more about how you can drive your transformation, all right? So of course, when we talk about transformation, we can have like a lot of projects under this like banner of that transformation. So the main, let's see, type of the project when we talk about the ERP transformation. For example, in the context of SAP, yes, you are on SAP ACC and you want like to move to S4, how LeanIX, how Signavio, how the BTM platform that my colleague Oliver showed you will help me, right, to succeed in my transformation. We're not going to talk about the whole process, but in this part I will just try to show you what is the new features which will help you to run your transformation, which is like powered by the AI. And we are going to talk about, of course, here the AI assisted architecture guidance. And of course, again, more than happy to deal with your questions. Again, this is like the theoretical part, right? How much like my transformation really cost me. I mean, there is no magic. You can see here we have like a different numbers, like 46% of like the project transformation project, like not completed on time. We have issues with the budgets, the wrong technology, wrong choice, wrong decision that can be, taken during like transformation project. But here, what I like, it's just the AI, part in, the transformation project, which is like, becoming more and more important. And we don't have here the statistics, but for example, on 2026, based on our statistics with our a partner, like 93% of the CTO and CIO believe that the AI will play a crucial role in all the transformation projects. So to do so, I need, again, a tool, a solution which will help me, to adapt and adopt, right, this new technology, and also to succeed in my transformation project. So what you see here also, it's, like some, I will see some risk based on this, what we call here the ungoverned like IT, but mainly here we are talking about the inefficiencies due to a fragmented tool, right? So we have a lot of like enterprise architects, like architect, using a different solutions, or like even in our company, we have like 2 business units, maybe they are using 2 different tools to do the same things. So we don't have this visibility. And also sometimes we are also talking about misalignments due to the competing projects. And again, most of the organization like facing that. I have 2 business units, maybe we'll invest in the same solution, or at least maybe we'll invest, to improve the same business capability with the same function without talking with each other. So here we are like just competing each other instead of like, trying to let's say here make better our IT landscape. Also here we are talking about lack of the technical innovation due to the technical debt, and this is also another topic, how we can deal with this, like obsolete technology. We need to know which application is supported by which, let's say, outdated technology, just in order to prepare ourselves. Maybe we can change even like the structure of the application, and for that we are like offering a lot of best practice based on time from Gartner, or like 6 hours, 7 hours, 5 hours, you can call it whatever, from Amazon, just like to help you again to control your assets, and also to well build your target state. But here, what I want like to mention is this critical role of the governance, like to avoid this risk, and also to ensure the investments which need to be like secure, strategic, and of course scalable. And as enterprise architects, you need also to play this key role, in driving alignments between, this is classical, between the IT and the business goal. And of course, like the last but not least, our goal is to lead to this sustainable growth. Again, here is the same things. Again, we are missing visibility. We don't have a clear strategy of how we are going to transform our organizations and so on, again, based on the reason that I just mentioned. But now the question is, you as SAP LeanIX, how you can help me, all right, to deal with this situation. So I'm not going to repeat like what Oliver mentioned, but we are offering you something which is like very intuitive, very easy to to use. It's our meta model. So this meta model, again, it's very flexible. It can be adapted to your context, because we believe in LeanIX that every and each organization is unique. Right? You have your own personality, your own way of doing, or like practicing the enterprise architecture, or like the governance, or like whatever. So for that, you can easily, adapt this meta model to your context, and also you can of course use our best practice. So the idea here with this way tool solution, we will help you to, let's say here, navigate through this steps. So the first thing, all right, what is your situation? Actually, your situation that you are missing visibility. For example, if I will start in your team as enterprise architect, the first thing that I want to know, if we are going to start our, for example, is for HANA transformation, or like cloud transformation, or like any transformation. By the way, just to bracket, LeanIX is agnostic, all right? We are not related just to SAP ecosystem, or like to any other ecosystem. We can cover any other ecosystem, all right? Or just close this bracket. So the idea, what I was like mentioning, is that I need to know what is my ASIS. I need to know from where I need to start. So the first thing, that's knowing your ASIS. I have the list of my application, the list of my processes, the list of my capabilities, and everything. Then I will start, doing some prioritization. Oh yes, I will start with this application. I will start with let's say, technology. So I have my list. Then I will move to the next step, which is like the what if analysis, because sometimes I have two options, like build or buy. For example, I need to buy a solution to, for my HR, I don't know, like recruitment. For that, I have two options. I can build my own application, but also I can buy, an application from the market. But here the question is, okay, if I go with the option one, what's going to be the impact on the rest of my ecosystem? What's going to be the impact, for example, for the second option? So here, until now, I don't have any visibility on the future. So with LeanIX, we can offer you this what-if analysis, let's say options, and I can, compare all the options. And after that, I can choose the right option for me, for my context, for my organization, based on my criteria and, context, all right? So here, this is how we will help you. All right. Again, it was like very quickly, but the idea that we will offer you the methodology and also the tools, like the features in our solution to, deploy your or to concretize your transformation project. We call about transformation project because in Linux we say transformation is not a project, it's a capability, but under this like banner we can have like a different project and initiative. So what is next? So here, sorry, I have like two. Yes, and this is what I was like, explaining to you that with Linux, all right, so we will help you, to do this what if analysis, like, what you have in your GitHub branches, all right? So everything, for example, you see here, it can be just like a scenario, but in the end of the day, you will keep just the master branch and everything that you will build as option, as scenario, it can be just ignored because you are not going to impact, your master branch. Last but not least, I think before jumping into the demo, it's the methodology. Again, the methodologies can be very theoretical, all right? But again, when we will start any project or like anything, it's nice, to have a structured way. Structured way, again, when we will, just offer you how you can do that using our best practice, we are not obliging you to do that. It can be adapted to your context. For example, this is just an example. We say, okay, if you want to start your transformation project, again, you need to know what you have, then plan where you want to go, then take the decision, right? And of course, implement. It's the same like what you have with DMAIC, with PDCA, with all those like methodology. But again, the most important for us to have a very structured way and a clear, let's say, RACI, if we can call them, and a clear steps of your transformation, let's say, initiatives. I hope it's clear. And I hope that I will get a lot of questions, all right? All right, so here now the question, how SAP will make my transformation a success? So for that, just again to give you the context, we talk about transformation. We have a different features, but since we don't have that much of time, so we are going to focus just on one of lot of features, which is like this AI assisted, architecture guidance. How the AI will help me, all right, to tackle my transformation project. So here, just like we are, having another slide talking about the current situation, the complexity of our ecosystem, the expertise that can be required from some architects in order to let's say work on this transformation project, and also how long or how much time that needs, especially to uncover, the current situation, including uncovered like the IT landscape, the business landscape. And I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but also we can touch sometimes the OT part, which can be also interesting, especially in the context of some project like the DTU digital twins of an organization. So for that, we are offering again this feature, but I believe that if you want to see it like live, it can be, better. Let's just move to the solution. So what you see here in 2 words. So this is the interface of LeanIX. So we have a different, let's say, tab, especially here the dashboard, where you can build a different dashboards. Among those dashboards, for example, I can have my AI governance, merger and acquisition dashboard, and so on and so forth. And again, as enterprise architects, I need to be ready to tackle my context based on the use cases. I need to do my ERP transformation, application rationalization, AI governance, cost management, or like whatever. But also I need to keep in mind that I need to address some questions of my sponsors, of my CTOs, of my CIOs, and all of my, let's say, like the stakeholders were like impacting, the whole project, especially, from the financial, point of view. Again, so our goal now is to talk about these new features, what we call here the architecture guidance. But just to remind you that the first thing that we need, to be sure that we have a clear visibility on it is our ASIS. Because we say that we cannot optimize something that we cannot measure, but of course we cannot measure something that we don't know. All right. This, just like to explain how it's important, to have this clear visibility. And since we are talking about the AI, let's say context, maybe during this phase of like discovering what you have, we can talk about the AI agents, how LeanIX will help me to discover, not to retrieve what I have, or what I know in other solution, but just to discover what I have in other solutions. So for that, for example, we are offering you these features, what we call here the AI agents, discovery. And what is good and what I like here is we can connect with all those like platforms that you are using to build your AI agent, like for example the SAP platform, or like Google agent in China, or like from Microsoft, or like even some custom part, because also you have the option to use our APIs to retrieve this list. So the idea that okay, you can have this list of your agents, because now the question is everyone is willing to create a new AI agent. But before creating a new AI agent, I need to know if I have already something that I can reuse, all right, before like starting this initiative. So for that, we can again discover all your AI agents. On top of that, we can discover which application is like interacting with this AI agent, which technology is supporting my AI agent, which business capability functions supported, created, realized by my AI agent, and also the provider, and so on and so forth. What you don't have here, we have also the MCP server, which MCP server is like used, right, or like used to have this, or to guarantee this in this connection between the application and the AI agents. It can be also discovered automatically. For those who knows already like LeanIX, based on this, for example, information, we can generate automatically the cycle map reports, and then we can generate like the how can you say that the diagram, or automatically, just like to look back to the question about the Archimedes diagrams. It can be also generated automatically. So this is how we discover the AI agents. Now we say, okay, I have a clear visibility on my, let's say, ASIS, and I would like to start taking some decision. And as we saw like very quickly in this slide, sometimes I don't have time. I don't have even like the expertise or skills which is like needed to take some decisions. And to go also back to the methodology concept, and again, we are not obliged to respect all the steps, but just please have a look on what we offer you. So what we offer you here, for example, regarding those, or this context of the transformation. So if we start just with two insights, for example, the AI will help you to figure out where you have some redundancies. Let's just pick something like, I will just go with this one. Oh, I already started, but anyway. So here we are giving you or offering you the steps. So the first thing that you need to review your fact sheet. You can generate like survey, like what Oliver like explained. Sometimes, yes, I'm going to take a decision. But again, I'm an enterprise architect, solution architect, data architect, application architect. I'm not the only one who's like taking the decision. I need, to consult my colleagues to take their feedback. And based on their feedback, I'm going to take a decision. So for that, nothing better than having a survey. First thing, it's something easy, to use and to fill out by your colleague. And second thing, that I'm going to keep, let's say, traceability on all their feedback, because tomorrow, if we have like to justify a decision, I have all the history and I can track anything. So then once we retrieve this like survey or generate this survey, first thing, as I mentioned, we can start with these steps. And by the way, what you see here and everything, powered by the AI. So let's go step by step, just like I'm trying to be quick, but I think that we still have time. So here, the first thing that's, okay, let's think very pragmatic. So I have three solutions, all right? Those three solutions for me, before buying a solution, all right, or like a service, like whatever, what is the first thing that I need, let's say, to take an account? If I'm going to fit out like a need, this need, I need, for example, something to assess, let's say here, my sales, for example, or like my revenue, or like just to help me to choose the right candidate, for example, if we are talking about an HR process or like an HR context. So I'm thinking more about functions, needs, all right, and so on and so forth. So now I have 1, 2, 3 applications, and here I have all the business capabilities slash functions. Just by the way, when I'm talking about business capabilities, and also I'm talking about functions, business capabilities is not automatically a functions. Business capabilities is more than that, but just to simplify the concept, right, we are thinking more about business functions, all right, because with the business or within the business capabilities, we have more than that. All right, so here I say, okay, look, I have all this list of my, capabilities, and you know what? I would like to decommission those 2 applications. Am I or am I going to keep like the same function? Yes, they are good, perfect. Then what I'm going to do, the next step, I'm going to generate this like survey. I hope that I have it here because I did like some exercise before the the webinar, and then this template was generated automatically. Again, as a human, we're still fortunately smarter than the AI. And my role just like to do the fine tuning. Okay, so I have like my permissions, the 3, let's say, application. Then I will see, am I okay with those questions? Yes, no, maybe I can, edit them. If not, if I'm okay, I can pass to the next steps. Sorry, here. And this is like the 4. And this is the survey that Oliver was like talking about. All right. And this survey will be automatically sent to my stakeholder, to my colleague. All right. And then that we will get, of course, the link directly to the survey. They will just address those questions. And those questions will be also automatically, put into LeanIX, and you as, let's say, enterprise architect, you need to take a decision. And also from here, what you can do, you can generate what we call a decision record. Of course, this is just a simple template, just like to help you again, to tackle this part, because as enterprise architect, we are talking about the architecture review board, we are talking about the architecture design record, and so on and so forth. In the end of the day, we need just to have, let's say, a trace, to track our decision, So here you have access to this kind of things. And of course, just like to go here, and you can have access to all your decision record. Last but not least, here is the concretization part, all right? So I took the decision, I'm okay, I'm going to decommission those 2 applications. Now I need to put it like in the context of like a transformation project. What can I do? I can also use the AI to generate, this, I need, I need to generate another one, sorry. I'm just clicking, but you know what? I already worked on something else. I think it's here. Yes, this one. And okay, maybe since we are working on that, but anyway, so this is like the risk of like showing live something. But yeah, so we were in this phase. So here we have some prompts, for example, blah, 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 blah. So here, please make those or to applicate. Wait, we're working on that. Okay. And then I will generate my, transformation projects. Just like to look back to the question about the solution architecture. So you can use this way, all right, even like to put or to capture all your solution artifacts. But I believe and I know nothing better than a diagram for a solution architect. But sometimes it's also nice to be open to the other options. I'm not saying that you have to use that, but you can combine your diagram and also, this way. And here, yeah, like telling me that took like 20 seconds. So the idea here that I have my transformation, which is like captured, automatically. But also sometimes to be pragmatic and say, okay, it can be just like a base. And based on that, I'm going to edit, to add impact, to do whatever I want. And as you can see here, all the transformations like created automatically. And also here I took the responsible of those like applications, because like they will be the one who are going to take the decision. And more than that, so I can add more information about my transformation. We are working also, again, I will come back to the diagramming part, on having a diagram where you can also build your to be and can be combined with this transformation. And then it will have a list between all the transformation which can be done, or like from the fact sheets, like what you see here, or also it can be documented from the diagram. So this is all what I want like to show you in a nutshell, that we are like offering you these new features. And these features we are like also offering you like the step-by-step methodology. And based on that, of course, you can adapt it to your context, or you can just choose whatever you want. Now the question is, okay, let's have a step back, and yes, you SAP, you are offering me all those like insights. From where we are getting this data? And again, so here our LLM, our brain, all right, it was trained on the data customer, right? Of course, everything is anonymized, and we are like just telling you what your peers are doing. Your peers, for example, when they have like, just in the context of SAP, you saw that we checked also non-SAP, let's say, applications. We say, okay, you don't need to have two applications. You have just one application, because most of our clients, they are not using two applications. All right. And as you can see here, even in our, let's say, SAP context, we are offering you and pushing you to optimize your application portfolio. All right. I will see if we have any question. Yes. Okay. So where I will start from where? Okay. I'm done. I still have just like 2 or 3 slides, but I would prefer. We still have 10 minutes, right, Oliver? Let me just check my. Okay, let's see how many yet. Okay, good. I believe that, you know what? I will start with the last one, then I will, good. Will location landscape by business unit be possible? If I understood, yes, of course. So here, maybe this is not a question in the context of my presentation, but yes, here I have my applications, for example, and of course I can cluster them by organization. Where is my organization? My organization, and the organization is the object that I'm using to represent, my location, my business units, my whatever. All right. Location landscape by business units. Maybe this is not the question, but we can have something like that, or I can have just my locations, which can be, cluster or visualized in this report. I hope that I addressed your questions. Otherwise, I'm more than happy, to tackle them, after this call. Does the what if analysis include an option to select an application to rationalize and versus alternative? That's yes, yeah. So this question about the what if analysis. So what I want like here to explain to you from this view here, this view, you see like the GitHub branching. We have the master branch. I have 2-3 developers, and every and each developer like working on their like piece of code. And once they are done, they are going to submit their code to the master branch. Before submitting their work, all right, like what they are like doing is not impacting like my master branch. And let's imagine that the master branch is like my Aziz, right? So here what we can do, of course, we can have here option 1, option 2, option 3, and so on and so forth. And amid those options, all right, I can have some options about my rationalization. My rationalization, it can be, tackled in a different way. It can be just rationalizing. I have two applications. I'm going to keep just one. Rationalizing my applications. Maybe I had like this monolithic, let's say, architecture. I'm going to switch to the microservices or like the other sense. Optimizing maybe the number of the user. I have a different, let's say, way of saying this situation. But once I have this clear visibility, what can I do? Sorry, I will just go here. By the way, I'm showing you everything. Go and, for example, in my initiative, like I will go with this one. In this initiative, what we'll do, I'm going here, to document all the possible options. All right, so this and that and blah, 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 blah. And when I'm going to visualize the impact of this like transformation on my Aziz, like a landscape or like an enterprise, like integration architecture or like whatever, I can pick this transformation, then visualize its impact on my reports, for example, my parameters. If I'm okay with that, I can come here and click on, you see here, execute. Execute is like commit, is like merge with the master branch. Otherwise, I can just ignore it. I will keep track on it, all right? But when I'm going to open, for example, here, my objects, like here, my business capabilities, I'm not going to see the relationship with this, business organization, all right? But if I'm going to click, or if I clicked on execute, I'm going to say this relationship, right? I hope that I address your questions. Yes, what I have, the layer accommodate all of the Archimedes. I mean, this is a question maybe related to the first presentation. So what you see here, all right, in this, architecture or like technology layer. So in Archimedes, we have the physical and we have the technology, and we separate both things. So in Linux, again, we are very lean, okay? For example, we don't have like the technical or like technology function, technology services. We don't have those facilities, equipment, node, device, and so on and so forth. But we see, okay, look, you have or you want to capture your hardware as device or as nodes. Use here the hardware, software, and so on and so forth. But also you can add your subtype. But please, what I'm trying here to explain, we are not trying to copy paste what we have in Archimate, but just to focus on the most important things. Otherwise, we could also offer, the 60 objects from Archimate, and that's it. Just here, like we are trying to say that we have something very flexible, right? But we don't want to be, let's say, structured by this, let's say, modeling language. And as you know, oh my God, I have like just 5 minutes. I have a lot of to say. So, we don't need to be, again, structured because, as you know, like in a diagram, Archimedes diagram, just the fact of missing one relationship, for example, instead of putting aggregation, I will put composition or like assignment, the whole diagram, it will, be wrong, all right? Not like how we do it in Linux. We have a more structured way and a more, let's say, easy way, because again, we are talking about how we can democratize these practices. Are you showing this slide? Yes, I will share that. Yes. Do you have current version? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Now I will go. Do we have strategic values chain by enterprise capability? And the physical application provided this. How would you present it? Oh, I mean, It's a good question. Yeah, we have, let's say, a strategic value chain supported by enterprise capabilities and the physical applications providing this. How would you present it in LeanIX? I mean, again, like when we talk about how we can have this abstraction of our organization. Again, I mentioned like very quickly, we have the IT business and we have, the OT. Maybe like this physical application that you are referring to is like from the physical world in the context of a DTO project, for example, or like an OT, or just whatever. Of course, we can have our business capabilities. If I don't have here the value chain, all right, it's because I have this object, but I want to have something which is like separated. So I can use, for example, my value chain here as a subtype of my business context, or I can have my value chain, as an object. But we are not trying to replace, of course, a Signa view, which is like the right tool for this kind of a representation. So I can have my object, which I can, like the value chain, which can be linked to my business capabilities. Now, the physical applications that you are like mentioning, for us, it's still like an application, and this application supported by a technology, and this technology which can be linked to any, let's say, physical part. So in the other words, all what you are mentioning can be captured inside Linux. Just one question before doing that, we'll also ask you, okay, if it's like worth it, because we are talking about enterprise architecture solution. In the other hand, we have also other solution. We have a CMDB. We are not trying to replace any CMDB or like ITSM solution. We are not trying to replace a BBM tool. We are not trying to replace an MDM tool or like other solution. Here, we are just trying to cover all the topics, which is like important for an enterprise architect, which can include just sometimes the high level or high picture of a detailed concept, like for example, the data. The data, we are not going to talk about data lineage, okay? What I need to know, which application dealing with which other application and which data is like exchange between those applications. I will be more than happy to, cover your question. I hope that we are in time. Okay, 2 minutes left, right? No, we are done. Okay, okay. So yes, yeah. I would love, yes. I had some questions for you, all right, but unfortunately, I had no time, to put them. But here, please, we'll need, to hear from you. What is your feedback? If you think that this kind of format is like useful for you, we can do it like on a, quarterly basis or like whatever. I will give you 2 seconds, to, scan this QR code. Otherwise, I will just share with you my contacts, so you can also scan this. Is my LinkedIn, my professional email. Please, if you have any questions or like anything you need just like to discuss a little bit about the enterprise architecture, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you so much. And hope see you soon. So